there is no legal framework to limit, to define, to regulate offensive cyber strategies. The acquisition of so-called cyber weapons in terms of a massive investment in offensive means of attack of another country and installation. These things are not regulated. We are a long way off the universal order of cyberspace, which is desirable. And when you read the literature about the idea of a global law of cyber law, of the cyberspace, then you find that confirmed. And then there's also the law enforcement angle. If you heard this morning that there are only 50 countries that have 24/7 contact points and therefore an information sharing mechanisms, if you hear that only a limited number of countries have ratified the cybercrime convention, although some of them who have not ratified have signed and praised the instrument, then you see what work there is still to be done. It will keep the summit going for a great many years, but I think as far as the regulation of cyberspace goes, we should not be self-complacent. Thank you.
Thanks, Henning. Addison.
Thank you. I just want to point out that a lot of these issues with cybercrime, cyber warfare, all depend on exploiting technical problems and faults in the fundamental systems that we use. So I would like to encourage us to think of ways to help the software vendors, from the operating systems to the applications, produce better quality code. And that there are carrots available and there are sticks available. And I don't know what the right equation is. And they're moving in the right direction. Don't get me wrong, but the sooner and the faster we can make this happen, I think a lot of these issues may be surmounted. And in a decade from now, a lot of the systems will be changed out with new systems. So as we progress, we can expect a larger and larger percentage, if we have secure systems, to be secure, and the threat will continue to diminish.
Okay, thank you, Addison. Bruce.
So I want to answer a question from this morning. What's your nightmare scenario? My nightmare scenario is that we spend our time thinking about nightmare scenarios. And this is important. There's a certain blindness that comes to worst case thinking. It leads to bad decisions, leads to bad system design, and it leads to bad security. And you all know an example of this, airline security and the TSA. That's what you get when you think about nightmare scenarios. That's what you get from worst case decision making. So what I'd like is when we go back tomorrow into our groups, to spend some time on realistic threat modeling, realistic security modeling, realistic cost-benefit modeling. And I think we'll get better security design, better proposals, and actually better security as a result. Thank you.
Well, thank you, panelists, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your patience. We've had a long day after a rather good evening last night. Thank you for your participation and active commitment to our cause. Let's go into the morning tomorrow bright and refreshed with a view to closing out our breakthrough issues and going from there. Thank you again, and thank you, panelists.